What is going on, baby? J and C
Baby.
C's podcast, baby. Let's go. We're back. We're ready. Let's get into it. All right. So we're back with J and C podcast. We are here. We're ready to talk about some things. We have some stuff planned out. Ready to talk about fantasy. We have some news, some notes for everybody. We talking our top 10 RB rankings for PPR because that's the only thing that we do is PPR. If you do standard half PPR, um, don't really have much to say for that, but we have the PPR rankings in our list, our own divisional rankings. We got Christopher, we got Christian, we got the spaceman who's right on top of Christian's head. We are ready.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a spaceman, to be honest.
I forgot the name. That was the astronaut. There we go. The astronaut on his head. There we go. Let's roll. Let's start talking. How are we doing today, Christopher? How are we doing?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. We just did our picks for our JNC league and fantasy, and getting excited for the other leagues I have to do and just get prepared. That's what we're doing.
Oh yeah, we're getting closer and closer now. So it's
Six
getting
weeks.
more
6 weeks.
exciting. I think the 6 weeks couldn't be any faster. It needs to hurry up. We need to start football. Christian, what is going on, Vato?
Nah. I'm good, bro. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
cool time.
Let's just get. Yeah, I had some stuff to say, but I'm not
Let's
gonna say
do it.
it.
Yeah. So before we get into everything, we have some news and notes, and the man that does us with the news and notes is the astronaut right there. So Christian, hit us with some news and notes of fantasy, important details that we need to know.
Important details. Let me bring it up. Um, so just in today, about 20 minutes ago, popped up on the sleeper app. It said quarterback Lamar Jackson was asked today if he is comfortable going into the season while negotiating a contract extension. So my question is, um, does that affect the way he does this season? Like, is he gonna come out and perform um to the standards that he's expecting a big contract, or is he just coming out and just balling and does what he always does?
I'm gonna for the time being, I'm just gonna think about Aaron Judge, and I'm gonna say yes, and that's why I have him very high. And I listen. If I see him in the sixth round, fifth round, I'm probably gonna draft him. I think Lamar Jackson's gonna do great. I really do, and I think normal season of Lamar Jackson, he's gonna get paid a lot. That's my quick answer.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. He's gonna be balling out. I think to get the contract done, man. I mean, they could be. I don't know. I don't know. You guys think it
I
will be a
I
contract
mean,
before the season?
well, the only issue with that right now is that Lamar Jackson is his own agent,
Hmm.
so that's what's going on. So he's gonna get a huge contract. No matter what. People keep talking really bad about Lamar. I really don't know why. He won an
Hmm.
MVP already. He
Yep.
he. Listen, he's an elite quarterback in this league, and I think he's gonna get paid. I think
Yep.
so.
And then my other question, second part to that is, where do you rank him as far as getting paid? Like amongst the top highest paid quarterbacks, does he become now the highest paid quarterback, or is
Um.
he at least in that conversation
Yeah,
top three,
I think
top
he
five?
gets I think he gets more than Kyler Murray, and I think he also doesn't have to be forced to study film for 4 hours
Hmm.
each day. But a little hit right there at Kyler. But I think he has more than Kyler, and I think he might surpass Deshaun Watson. Look what he did with the Ravens. Look at last season. He, they lose. These guys lost almost everybody, and they were still almost in contention. Was
Hmm.
almost in the playoffs, and they lost to I think they lost the last spot to the Steelers. So
Yeah, the
they
last game.
they they legit was right there with who else had the spot and lost it? Oh my God, the Titans. They were right there with the Titans. The Titans lost it, but I think he's gonna get paid pretty high for sure.
Okay.
What else we got?
All right. What else? Cowboys wide receiver Malcolm Gallup, who is recovering from a torn ACL, admitted today that returning for Week 1 is not a realistic possibility.
Okay.
So, say he does come back Week 1. does that take anything away? Or okay, so we know right now CeeDee Lamb's ADP is pretty high, and that's mainly due to because he's really the only receiving threat on Dallas, really the only option for Dak. So if he is cleared for week one, he's definitely going to be wide receiver too. Does that take anything away from you drafting him in the high second, beginning of the third
Uh,
round,
I'll
or
answer.
do
I'll answer quick, Chris. I'm gonna say no. He's the number one guy there. There's no Amari Cooper. I'm gonna say no, Chris. I don't know if you
Yeah,
got anything.
no, there's just nothing to really say about that. CD is gonna be gobbling targets this year, and I don't
Yeah,
see.
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's not really any. I mean, I haven't really seen anything. Even when he was healthy, he hasn't really done much
Yeah,
for me
the
to
only
say
thing
that.
the only thing it
You know.
does for me, since you guys know I was high on Tolbert, or however you pronounce that name. He was gonna be the number two guy with Dallas until Gallup came back.
Hmm.
Now, since he's saying week one is not really realistic, maybe week three he comes back, maybe week four.
Hmm.
If he comes back that fast, then I'm not drafting Tolbert. But if we're talking about missing 8 games, for example, or 7 to 8,
Right.
then I'll probably still think about Tolbert being the number two guy in Dallas. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. And that's why all I got on my end. I don't know if any of you
Okay,
guys got
no,
anything else.
that's fine.
Okay.
Just the last thing to talk about really quickly. Julio Jones, he signs with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
And it was already they're already making it a big deal on social media because in the training camp, Tom Brady already threw him a touchdown,
Hmm.
and Julio looks fresh. He looks young.
Yeah, and they
Um,
already said that they already have the design plate that they're ready to use him a lot
Yeah,
where
they
they
want to
coming
use him
in.
a lot, and same thing with Kyle Rudolph. They want Kyle
Hmm.
Rudolph to take over the Gronk role. My
Hmm.
questions to all you guys: because the Gronk role last year was just catching all the damn touchdowns.
Hmm.
So, is anybody considering Kyle Rudolph here after that or no?
Um,
I would keep
no.
my eye on him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
keep your eye on him?
I would keep my eye on, like I said, on maybe on the waiver, like if he's on the waiver,
Yeah, not
and
a draft pick.
but I wouldn't bother wasting draft pick as
So
much.
you wouldn't wait to the last pick and just take him as your starter since he'll play that Gronk role or no?
Depending how the draft goes, and if
Okay.
at towards the end, I still don't have a tight end, and you have guys like Gasecki and Komet, and then if he's around that conversation, then maybe because you have Tom
Yeah.
Brady's score, but I wouldn't really look for him though.
Just for the record, since you said it, I'm taking Komet over Kyle Rudolph
Oh
any
yeah.
day. If,
Oh, of
yeah,
course.
if, I think after Komet, then it's probably okay. Maybe I just take Rudolph and just play the touchdown game. You either get a
Mhm.
touchdown or you don't. But yeah, okay. So before we get into the rankings, there's a couple. I've been like paying attention to a lot of things, and excuse me. And there's a couple players that I like. I want to do. Would you rather? Like, who would you rather draft at these ADP positions? So I have like four
Mhm.
players, and there's a lot of people that are questioning these guys if they should draft them over these guys or not. So my first guy, he's a pretty high up wide receiver. I just want to hear your takes. So would you rather Debo Samuel or Tyreek Hill?
Um,
I would take Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Debo Samuel or CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Debo Samuel or AJ Brown?
Debo.
Debo.
Debo Samuel or Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
That one. I would
Yeah.
take Mike Evans only for the upside, and he's already got. He got the most. I think he had the most chemistry on that team with Tom Brady. So,
Yeah. My last one, Debo Samuel or T. Higgins.
I'll go with Debo.
Wow, you see, that's why I asked that question. Debo is ADP is 23.4. It's a high middle round, second round pick according to the Sleeper app. And some people are not really wanting to risk that pick. And like you guys said, you much rather have a lot of other people that were below him and some people that were ranked higher than him. I just wanted to see if anyone is really high on him.
the question with Debo is this is a huge question mark for him because if they just using him as a wide receiver, he did everything, literally everything for them last. He was I think he did a quarterback play at one point. I
I think
just
so
He
too.
did.
he literally did everything for that team.
Yeah, the offense was run
If
through
they're
him.
gonna trim him
Yeah.
down to doing one role, what is his what is his product fantasy?
I mean, what I will rebuttal that is that when he was making himself known during the fantasy season, he started off with doing screens and just getting big yard plays. So he's gonna still catch screens.
I don't.
The running, you're 100% right. He's not running.
The only thing I gotta say about that is while I was driving, I was listening to the radio and they were talking about that there's gonna be a regression with him, and I've always said that, but the reason is that now that they've named Trey Lance the quarterback, Trey Lance is not like Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo's he's gonna stay there in the pocket, try to throw the ball. Trey Lance is mobile too, so you gotta think so a lot of those dump offs.
Exactly.
So with Trey Lance, instead of him like Garoppolo going and dumping the ball off and he's gonna go run for first down, now you have Trey Lance. Instead of him dumping it off, if he has a clear lane to run, he's gonna run most of the time. So that's also gonna take away a lot.
Yeah, not only that too. The other difference too is that Trey Lance has a cannon.
Yeah,
that's another reason why they drafted him. And who might benefit off of that? That's Brandon Ayuk. Because he's the deep range guy. So that's interesting. Let's
it was actually a sleeper notification with IU. Not so long. I think it was today with the connection that they're seeing with Lance.
Yeah, because now the team does change. Like Christian said, the team does change. Garoppolo doesn't have a long arm. We've seen that. He doesn't go deep. Now Trey Lance, he throws the ball far. So Ayuk can get a big upgrade because I don't know if Debo is going to be that long range guy. So we talked about that. I'm happy I heard what you guys thought on. Now I want to talk about Michael Pittman. Would you rather Michael Pittman or Terry McLaurin?
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman or Deontay Johnson?
Pittman, yeah.
Michael Pittman or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins.
Michael Pittman or DK Metcalf?
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman or Jalen Waddle?
Pittman, yeah.
Last one. Michael Pittman or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
I take DJ Moore on that one.
Wow, that one shocked me. So, obviously, you guys are very high on T. Higgins, which I am also. So, I'm on board with everything. However, I would take Michael Pittman over T. Higgins. I think I'll take Michael Pittman over everybody I just named. I really do think he's gonna be a breakout this season. I think he's really gonna blow up. I love him. I think he's gonna do great. You guys picked him over DJ Moore, who was 3 spots below him. Nothing crazy. I just want to know
more over him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think both of you guys did.
Oh, you said we picked him over DJ Moore.
I would have taken Pittman over DJ Moore if Baker wasn't the quarterback. And yeah, it's not a crazy upgrade. Like, you're getting an Aaron Rodgers, but you're still better than Sam Darnold, and he's going to benefit a lot to that. So that is a big upgrade.
You guys know that Baker Mayfield last year. Baker Mayfield has thrown 1,000 yards receiving to 2 wide receivers at one point. He threw it to Odell and Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So DJ Moore's gonna make some noise.
And Baker can easily throw 1,000 yards to DJ Moore and dump it off to CMC, and he'll get 1,000. So that'll be another 2,000 yard type of team.
There's reports from training camp talking about how the connection already with Baker and DJ. So
it's gonna be interesting. Okay, last one on the wide receiver end, and then I got one running back. So I want to talk about Marquise Brown because a lot of people are high on him on his first 6 weeks. And after the 6 weeks, it's pretty much a little bit of a question mark. So, would you rather Marquise Brown or Amari Cooper?
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown or Cortland Sutton?
Cortland Sutton.
I'll take Brown.
Marquise Brown or Allen Robinson?
Brown. I don't
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown or Chris Godwin?
Oh, Brown for
See,
sure.
that's a toughie.
He's coming off injury. I don't know. With a crowded target, there's so many mouths to feed in Tampa Bay.
I mean, okay, wait. But I understand the injury. But last season when it was Evans, Godwin, and Brown, Godwin led the team in targets. Brown got the deep yards, but Godwin was racking it up. And
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about that. I'm just trying to think of what.
I agree with.
Yeah, the injury is like, I don't know if he's gonna be back in time. I would take Godwin. But
so
right now, Marquise
when you mean back in time, would you take Godwin over Marquise Brown if he's only out for 1 to 2 games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
anything more than 2 games, you take Brown.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Okay. Last one.
Marquise Brown is going to be good for 6 games. Then D Hop comes back. Then it's a question with him as well.
That is a big question. So my last one is Marquise Brown or Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
All right. So, um, I have a question for you, Chris, because you say you took Brown over Sutton, right?
I would, yeah.
Can I ask why? I just want to know your thought on that.
Well, Brown is going to give you a solid 6 weeks. What are you going to do? What, in my opinion, and I've seen this last year. Last year, I saw the importance of coming off to a hot start. I was undefeated for what 6, 7 weeks.
About yeah, around
Having
there.
having having that hot start gives you a cushion for any type of speed bumps. After that hot start, I had a couple injuries there. I was able to get I had to fix some things here, some things there, jump on waivers, do what I had to do. But that hot start was able to give me the cushion that I need to still make it to the playoffs, make it to the finals, and losing a small mark. But at the same time, it's like I know the importance of getting to that hot start, and Marquise Brown is going to give you that hot start. That's six
So,
weeks.
what's your question on Sutton? Like, what's the big question
I
that
don't
you
have no
have with
questions
him?
on Sutton. I do like Sutton as well. It's not that I don't like Sutton. It's
Okay.
just that I know that in Denver, there's a question mark. People are preferring. They're thinking, yeah, Sutton's gonna be the guy, but do we actually know that?
No, yeah,
It's
you're
a
right.
popular opinion that Sutton's gonna be the guy. Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
but at the same time, we don't know. Is it gonna be Jerry Judy? Is it gonna be people are forgetting about uh Tim Patrick? People are forgetting how good he was and what he did last
TJ,
year.
TJ Palmer, that guy too as well.
Exactly. We
I have
don't
a
know who's
lot.
gonna be
I
the
have a
guy.
lot.
We don't know if everybody's gonna be the guy, and if
Yep.
there's a lot of question marks there. We know that Marquise Brown is gonna be the guy. The Andre Hopkins is not there, and his quarterback is Kyler Murray. He knows how to throw the ball.
And we know we can also say that if Hopkins comes back, it might take him another week or two just to get him back into the mojo, which Brown will still get the targets. So that's probably 8 weeks. I should say give or take 8 weeks. And then we don't even know if Brown is just Kyler's guy and he just starts to love him a lot more. Because Christian Kirk was always relevant last season. And Marquise Brown, if we all can agree, is better than Christian Kirk.
Mhm.
And so I
He
understand what you're
might
saying
even
there.
he might even be a value number 2 option in the Cardinals. You got people doubling on DeAndre Hopkins, and now
Yeah.
Marquise Brown is dealing with the
It's
second, third guy.
it's very interesting, and I felt like I had to talk about that because a lot of people are questioning, like, what do I do? Then another guy someone's questioning is Javante Williams from Denver. A lot of people are questioning how high he is and who they rather take over him. So I ask you guys, would you rather take Javante Williams or Shaquan Barkley?
Oh, pardon. Yeah, pardon.
Take one.
Shaquan, Devontae, what the hell? Javante Williams or Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones for sure.
Okay, I would like to hear that. Javante Williams or Nick Chubb?
Javante Williams.
Yeah, Williams. There's a lot of question marks.
Javante Williams or Leonard Fournette?
Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette. Yeah.
Javante Williams or Ezekiel Elliott?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Whoa, snap. All right, we got to talk about two things. So I'm going to leave that Zeke one for the last one. But um, Javante Williams and Aaron Jones have a similar role. And they have another second running back who's going to take carries, take away targets. They're going to be involved in the offense. So can I hear why, Christian, you prefer Aaron Jones over Javante?
Um, I don't know. I just trust Aaron Jones a lot more. Just based on past history of and he's playing with Aaron Rodgers, and also there's not really anything to take away from him now that Devontae Adams is gone. So now you're playing with really like, wide receivers that really have to prove themselves now and everything. And Aaron Rodgers just has that reliable option to just throw it down. And Aaron Jones is probably one of the best receiving backs in the league. So Javonte Williams is also good. We also talked about how he had a pretty good rookie season, but like we talked about before, he's sharing the ball with Melvin Gordon. A lot of those passing downs are gonna be to Melvin Gordon. So, I guess it's just what you prefer. I love Javonte Williams. I think he's gonna throw great. I trust Aaron Jones a lot more.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Now, Christopher, I'm going to ask you this one. Both picked, but I'm going to ask you. Javonte Williams over Ezekiel Elliott, someone who had a good hot streak for about 5 weeks in the beginning of the season, found out that after that fifth week, he had an injury this whole time. He kind of got mediocre, was touchdown dependent, still ended top 10, I believe. And he has Tony Pollard, who's right on the hem of his belt. So please give me your reasons why you prefer Zeke over Javonte.
He's coming back healthy. People, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be I believe there's gonna be a huge, maybe not huge, but there's gonna be a regression with Tony Pollard. He came in and stepped in mid-season or somewhat beginning of the season after we didn't know Ezekiel Elliott was hurt. Now Ezekiel Elliott was hurt. They're not gonna keep pushing him. They're gonna keep pushing him. Of course, again, Tony Pollard's gonna pick up the slack. He has to pick up the slack. Somebody has to pick up the slack. If Zeke remains healthy throughout the whole season, he's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the guy. They paid him to be the guy in Dallas. They gave him this money. They're not gonna give him this money to split the backfield with Tony Pollard unless they want to preserve him. But at the same time, if he's coming back healthy and he's doing his thing, we all know what he could do. We saw what he did in his rookie season. We saw what he did when he was healthy last year, because his bad games were when he wasn't healthy. And this year, and he can catch the ball. We all know he can catch the ball. He is a receiving back, and he's Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's gonna have a big comeback season this season.
And they have a pretty decent O-line.
Yeah. All right. Listen. Write it down. Christopher just said Tony Pollard's gonna have a major digression this season with the healthy Zeke. Write it down. Write it down. Now,
yeah, I don't think he's gonna create a crazy regression, but it's true. Christopher said, and also, I mean, they have a pretty decent O line, and remember, it's just like we said, it's just CeeDee Lamb really out in receiving. So Dak is really gonna have to rely on Zeke a lot.
yeah.
Last year they had Amari Cooper.
I
CD,
see exactly what you guys are saying, but what I call out of that one we got to keep there. Tony Pollard is gonna have major regression. Now, if I say Kamara gets suspended 2 to 4 games, let's say 4 games, you still taking Javonte over him, or you take Kamara and suck up the 4 games?
It depends on how many games, like you said.
If it's 4 games, you taking Kamara or Javonte?
No, like I said,
I can't go Kamara.
I like the hot start. I like
the hot start. Okay.
Yeah, I can't go Kamara. I can't risk it.
2 games.
Yeah.
Will you take it?
2 games, I'll think about it.
I don't know. It's tough.
It's
It's tough because still where you take him. Like what I risk a 2 or 3 spot for Kamara if he's gonna be suspended 2 to 4 games.
Yeah.
No. If he goes down to 6, 7, then yeah.
Yeah, I will say that part of my RB rankings, which we're gonna get into right now, that was your segment of who would you rather, of people that we weren't sure of that have a lot of question marks. And my rankings, I did, because he's not suspended yet. So that's one thing that I if Kamara's not suspended and he's back, Kamara's a top 10 guy. I don't know how you can argue that, and because there's a possibility that he doesn't get suspended until next season because his lawyers are trying to extend the next hearing, and if they extend it past August, he might not get suspended until next season. So it's a big question mark if you're willing to take the risk. But I'm ranking this as if he's not suspended yet, because technically he's not. So let's get into our rankings. Let's get it rolling. We don't really have to explain much unless we're going crazy off of the top, maybe top 2. After that we probably have different picks around here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go really quickly and just say I think we all have Taylor as our number 1, or do we not?
Yeah.
We got Taylor as our number 1. So Christopher, start me with your next. Give me a top 5. Give me a top 5, and anyone that's a little bit off, just explain that one, and the ones that are just normal, then you just go with the flow.
So remember we go off what we expect. So I have
and
Jonathan
it's PPR,
Taylor,
PPR,
and it's PPR. Yeah. So
right.
Jonathan Taylor, monster last year, and the only concerns I have with him is Hines. They want to use him a lot more, so does that regress him a little bit? Right now, I don't think so. But number 2, I have Christian McCaffrey, and I was up in the air with him, but honestly, it's true what everyone says. If he's healthy throughout the whole year, he's Christian McCaffrey.
He's the best player in the league.
He could even bump into the number 1 spot, but there's a lot of question marks with him, so I keep him number 2. Number 3, I have Dalvin Cook. I moved him up a lot. only because I know they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more in Minnesota. And if Dalvin Cook does what he did last year and what he does in a good year and increase the fact that he's catching the ball now in PPR, he's going to be a monster. Number four, I have Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, I think he's gonna have another good year. I mean, he's in a good team. I don't see anything different about the situation he was in last year with the situation he's in this year. Maybe he has Isaiah Spiller go into his target share, but I still think he's Austin Eckler, and he's gonna do what he needs to do to be in that spot. And number five, I have, and I don't even have this the person I'm gonna talk about later in my top five, but right now I have on my number five Joe Mixon. I love Joe Mixon. What he did last year, he's literally so what Joe Mixon is in the same situation he's in last year, but he has a better offensive line. That's the only difference from last year to this year with Joe Mixon. So for that reason, I have him there at number five, and that's my top five.
Okay. I like your top five. The one thing I will say about what you said about Eckler is that you expect like kind of the same thing. One thing I would say was I don't think anybody could repeat that many touchdowns that he scored for that team. So I would expect. Obviously, he had a like top season. He was number one, number two, number one, number two. He had a great season, but the touchdown regression is gonna happen. No one's not gonna score that many. I can't see it happening. Keenan Allen had a decent year. He has to get some of those touchdowns back. Mike Williams, Isaiah Spiller, like you said, is gonna get involved. But like you said, same type of role, just a touchdown. Like this man, I think he scored 4 in one game. He was just going. He was every touchdown. He was every touchdown. So I'll do mine and then we'll go to you, Christian, really quickly. Mine and yours, Christopher, are pretty similar. Taylor 1, CMC 2, Dalvin Cook 3. I'm very high on Dalvin Cook as well. Christopher already said it. But my number 4 is not Austin Eckler. My number 4 is somebody that I'm very, very high on, who's gonna finish. Who is it?
You love Swift. I know you.
I freaking love I love Swift. I think he can finish. I think he can finish top 3. I really do think so. With the Taylor concerns, it's really making me question with my first pick in our other league, Christian McCaffrey, because if he's healthy, he is going to be the best running back. I think there's no question about it. But Swift is my 4th. I love Swift. They used him a lot last season. He was a little banged up. Give me a healthy DeAndre Swift. Give me a better Lions team, and that means Swift is going to have a great season. My number 5 is Austin Eckler. Like Christopher said, he's ranked as the 3rd best running back, and I have him regress to the 5th best running back. It's not a big regression. I personally think that after your draft, so let's say it's Taylor, CMC, Cook, your 4th pick should be Justin Jefferson, and then Cooper Kupp. That's just me. I think those 2 guys have better value than Austin Eckler, but he's still my top 5 running back. Christian,
one thing about real quick before he goes with DeAndre Swift. I have him pretty high too. A little lower than you, a couple spots, but like he has help this year. Last year, he was literally the only guy, and Hawkinson. When it comes to throwing, it was Hawkinson. When it comes to running, it was DeAndre Swift. Now he has some help. He has the rookie James Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a beast.
Yeah. Williams won't be back till like December. Maybe
hurt.
ACL. But Amari St. Brown did blow up. Yeah, you're right about that.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hawkinson is still there. They have the same quarterback. So whoever DeAndre Swift had last day, it was Jared Goff is still there. So he has the same quarterback.
Oh, and DJ Chark is there.
And they have DJ Chark. So they do have another weapon.
DJ Chark is there. They have another weapon. I forgot he was there. Yeah. You're right.
I see less of a chance if they're not using him like every down. I see less of a chance of him getting hurt. I think the usage last year was one of the reasons he got hurt.
Yeah, I agree. Give me a healthy Swift and I'll be happy. Christian, top 5, brother. What we got?
All right. My top 5 is a little different than yours. Some similarities, but little differences. I guess it's not a bad thing. We can discuss it. But number 1 and 2, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey. You guys already said everything. If Christian McCaffrey's healthy, he's undoubtedly the best running back in the league.
It's messing with my head with this first pick, bro.
Number 3, I have, and you guys might question it. He did get hurt midway, but I got Derrick Henry. The guy is an animal. You can argue all you want. The guys just go to some stats. In 2020, he had 2,000 rushing yards, over 2,000 rushing yards, 17 rushing touchdowns. Now he's a terrible receiving back, but the way they run the offense through him, he's getting at least 35 carries a game. You cannot go wrong with that. So
Christian,
someone getting 35 carries, you're guaranteed to get 100 yards.
no,
I don't care.
Christian. I was just telling Chris this earlier that Derrick Henry, when he was out last season, he was out. I think 5 weeks after his injury, he was still the number one running back in fantasy.
Yeah, it's
he
crazy.
still held it.
He's amazing. So I'm saying
he is amazing.
If he comes back healthy, you can't go wrong there. Like I said, the whole offense runs through him. That's it.
Does that information you have? Does it have his total carries from that season or no?
It does. I actually written it down, but I gotta to look it up. It's gonna take too long.
Okay, no problem.
I just know it's 2,000 yards. Yeah, I know he had a lot of carries, but like I said, he's gonna get at least 35 carries a game.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to at least get 100 yards and at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
Number 4, I have Austin Eckler. You guys already said everything about him. He's amazing. There's gonna be, like I said, there's gonna be a little regression in the touchdown area, but nothing to be too concerned about with him.
Yeah.
And then number 5 I had DeAndre Swift. Like you said, Jacob, he's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm very high. If I would have got, well, we don't know in our other league, but if I would have gotten the 8th, 9th, or 10th pick, he definitely would have been my pick. At least the first one or the back to back or whatever. He's just great. Better O-line, more help. Especially in the draft. He's just gonna do great, and that's my top 5.
Listen, I love that Derrick Henry pick, and before we really got into looking into all the running backs and all that, I was really high on Derrick Henry because of the reasons you just said. My only concern is that he has so much carries on his legs that it could scare me of him getting hurt again.
Let me give you some facts here. So 2018, he had 215 carries.
Oh my God.
2019, he had 303 carries. 2020, he had 378 carries.
Okay.
And 2021, he had 2019. He was hurt. He had, 219, not 2000.
Hold on, what the hell?
219 on 2021. He was hurt. So he went from 378 to 219.
So,
you don't think
so
there's 2020 in the tires?
Of course. In 2020, divide the amount of games and how many carries he had, and tell me how many carries he had per game. It's ridiculous. This guy, they trust him a lot.
Seasons in 20.
Now my only question. Now my only question is, so when Henry, my only question with you guys is that with Henry getting all those carries, it was easier because they really couldn't stack the box, because if they did a play action, AJ Brown's open. Now the question is, do you think they're gonna stack the box now because they don't know about Robert Woods and Traylon Burks? You still don't know. Now they will have to blow up for them to open up the defense. So it could be a little bit of a slow start. And then if Traylon Burks starts getting really good, then I love that pick. I really do. I like Henry.
It's about 25 carries.
Look at that.
My
crazy,
goodness,
bro.
He was getting
that's
fed
ridiculous.
like an animal.
That's not because look, Christian McCaffrey gets 15 carries and 15 receptions a game.
His points come from the reception. That's the difference. That's the difference with usage when it comes to.
But that's PPR though. That's PPR though, because we're talking about standard with no PPR. Henry's the top 3 without a doubt. Because you don't get the PPR receptions, you don't get the points. So if that's a standard, Derrick Henry could be a number 1 pick between him and Taylor, I think. And then that probably will go Christian McCaffrey and then Cook. So that's definitely for sure. But right now we're in a PPR. That's what we're talking about. So Christian has him as his 3rd. We have him a little lower, but he's still a monster. If he's healthy, he's a monster. Chris, give me a next 5.
So number 6 is who we were just talking about. I put Derrick Henry there at number 6. Like I said, the upside and the PPR is what kept me from putting him above my top 5, but he's right there at my top and number 6. Just for all the reasons we just said, he could arguably be top 3, top 5. If he stays healthy and they use him the way they do all season, he could end up in number one running back, honestly. Number 7, I have DeAndre Swift. I had him last year, and he was an absolute monster. I know exactly what he did last year with a bad Lions team that was getting better throughout the season and got a significant amount of improvement towards the end of the season. We saw them making plays, scoring touchdowns, doing what they got to do. And this year they made even more improvements. They have a better offensive line, some more weapons to throw to. So DeAndre Swift is in a better situation than he was last year, where he was doing extremely well. And number 8, I actually have Najee Harris. Now Najee Harris is there. The Steelers,
I love that pick.
The Steelers don't have Ben anymore. They got gonna have a better whoever's quarterback for the Steelers this year is an upgrade, no matter who it is.
I think Trubisky's starting.
Is Trubisky?
I think they're gonna give him a window, and then they're gonna try to put Yeah.
Pickens.
Yeah.
Pickens. The other guy. Some picks. There's picks everywhere. But yeah.
No. The picks come from Daniel Jones. All right, keep going.
But we have Najee Harris there at 8, and honestly, I just don't see with a better quarterback, he's gonna do what he did last year and maybe even better. So number 9, I have Leonard Fournette. I have Leonard Fournette doing it because he's gonna do what he's gonna do in Tampa Bay. He's still the guy. And that whole, we had a whole conversation before with this whole weight situation. He's already brought down, I think, like 15 pounds. Like, he's doing what he got to do.
Yeah, he's 245 now. He's already 245.
Yeah, he has no situation there. He's in the same situation, if not a better now with Julio Jones. You can't play the run, you can't play you don't know what you're playing against Tampa Bay.
They just like so.
Yeah. It's Tom Brady. He loves to dump it off as well.
Oh yeah, I don't have the exact fact, but once Antonio Brown left the team, Fournette was his target guy. After that, Fournette blew up. That's when Fournette, that second half of the season, Fournette became like an eye opener. Yeah, because he wasn't doing that in the beginning because they kept giving the ball to Ronald Jones. Eventually, they said, Ronald Jones, you're not worth it. Let's try Fournette. Antonio Brown leaves, and Tom Brady falls in love with him. So that is a good little fact. After Brown left,
Ronald Jones is not even there this year, so that's another.
Yeah, he's on KC, right?
Right now, he just has to worry about White, if I believe that's his name, or it's the back of the rookie. I forgot his name. I thought it was White, but I might be wrong. I have to find that.
So I like Leonard Fournette's situation, especially with Tom Brady being the dump off guy, and I think so. That's my number 9. And number 10, I was gonna know how much I love him. It's Saquon Barkley. I think this is gonna be his year, or I have him at my top 10. He's gonna be his comeback year. People have their things, and people talk about, there's a big drop off with Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, but they're in the same situation. Saquon's gonna have a better offensive line. Saquon's gonna be healthy, and I just think that he's gonna have a top 10 season this year. He's gonna be doing what he did, and if he remains healthy, like I said, this is the thing where I have when he remains healthy. He's outside of my top 10 if Alvin Kamara is playing, just so I can put you on. If Alvin Kamara is playing, I put him as I put him as number 4. And everybody who I had 4 and 10 moved down one.
Okay.
So he's outside of my top 10 if Alvin Kamara is playing. But Alvin Kamara is out 6 weeks. He moves up 1. That puts him in my top 10. So I'm going to have him this season.
All right. Listen, you're right. Listen, he had the top 10 quarterback on his team, so he should do great, honestly.
Right, Christian?
He's amazing, bro.
Great.
I'll take him number 1 overall.
So, the Barkley pick is a nice little hot one there. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have him in my top 10. I
think he's gonna be really good. So I think he's gonna come back. But maybe 15, top 15, definitely.
He's gonna be good. I'm just not on board. He's gonna be good. You guys, you take the risk.
Before the injury last year, he actually did pretty good.
All right, so like my question would be, would you guys, if you're, whatever, first and second round, and let's say you go double running backs, are you picking 2 running backs that just got off injuries? For example, Christian McCaffrey and Barkley, or Henry and Barkley? Are you gonna risk it?
No, if I get Christian McCaffrey, I wouldn't do double risk, obviously. Yeah. But at the same time, if let's say I'm number 2 in one of the drafts. Let's say the first guy wants Christian McCaffrey.
Whatever.
Derrick Henry. He goes, I get Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor's pretty solid. So
he's a safer pick. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Maybe if he's available, I've seen drafts where Saquon's been available for my 3rd pick.
Yeah, because a lot of people gave up. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, when you have him for either both seasons or for one of those seasons that he's been hurt and been terrible, you just give up and you just move on. And you haven't went through that, Chris, so that's why you kind of feel like that. You never went through that pain of drafting a high equity on somebody and then he becomes a big fat egg and gets hurt. So
and then he traded them to me.
Yeah, and I trade him to you, and then I trade you to him for Deebo Samuel. It was the best trade of my life. So the 6, my 6. Listen. You know what? Whatever. My 6th running back is Christian's favorite running back in the whole wide world, Najee Harris.
Woohoo! Let's get it,
Najee
baby.
Harris. Listen, he's not gonna
That's my boy.
repeat the targets he got from last season. He's not repeating 100 or whatever. He led the running backs in targets because the Ben Roethlisberger had no arm. He's not gonna repeat that. But one thing I do love is a running back with no competition. No one's taking that job from him. No one's taking carries away from him. No one's taking nothing away from him. The Steelers could be one of the worst teams, which they might not be, because Mike Tomlin still figures out how to be a 500 team. But they could be a 500 team or below 500. Najee Harris is still gonna eat up the ball, eat up the targets. He's still gonna eat. I love him. I love his position. Yeah, I love everything about him.
Yep.
No one's taking the carries away from him. My seventh running back is Derrick Henry. Christian talked a lot of positives, and I came back with a little bit of the negatives. Was that he has a lot of wear and tear on his body. Possibility he could digress. No AJ Brown for those last couple of years where he had AJ Brown, so they might stack the box. They might send everybody at this man. So I still think he's a top 10. He's a top 5 if he comes back the same Henry that he was, and I have him at 7. Number 8, I have Joe Mixon. Chris already said it. Chris has him higher, but honestly, Joe Mixon could be a top 5 without a doubt. He's on a great team, like Christopher said, great offensive line. He should continue what he's doing. He stays healthy, he'll be fine. My number 9, Chris doesn't have him on here, but I sure do, and that's Aaron Jones. I understand that AJ Dillon is a part of that offense, but I think Aaron Jones is gonna get enough targets, enough touchdowns, enough carries on that Green Bay team to be a top 10 running back. I do trust in him, and I trust him a lot more than Barkley. Just putting that out there. I just don't like Barkley. My number 10, if he doesn't get suspended, is Alvin Kamara. He's my 10 because, like I said, big question mark. We don't know what's going to go on. I have him as my number 10. My filler, in case if he does get suspended, is Leonard Fournette. I said it. I already took out what I was going to say about Fournette, but when Brown left, Fournette was a target machine. He was Tom Brady's love. He was his James White. That was everything that Tom Brady needed. So that was also when Gronk missed a couple of games too. Fournette just ate up or every single target. So I like Kamara as my 10. I like Fournette as my backup number 10 if Kamara does get suspended. And that is my top 10 rankings of my running back PPR. Christian, let's go with your remaining 5.
All right. Again, my remaining 5 is a little different, not crazy, but number 6, I have Joe Mixon. We already talked about him, that his improved O-line is just gonna make him even better. A lot of people talk about how Joe Burrow is gonna be better. I think it actually benefits Joe Mixon a little bit more. But I think he's just gonna eat, especially with that beefed up O-line. Number 7, I have Dalvin Cook. I could put him higher, but I guess you could argue injuries with Derrick Henry and just injuries just worry me a little about Dalvin Cook. They are throwing the ball a lot more, which is a plus for him because he is a great receiving back. But I just have him there. Just the injuries concern me, especially he's gonna miss a couple games. I just have him number 7, but still solid pick. Number 8, I have my guy Najee Harris. Again, not even biased, because if it was biased, I would put him higher. But he just had a
I love him.
He had a very, very great rookie season. I think he's gonna do just as good. And a lot of people, there was a report that he gained a little weight. Whatever, who cares? So what?
He doesn't have no one to take the job.
Yeah,
from
he's gonna eat. He's gonna get all the carries. He's also a really good receiving back as well. He's elusive. He's quick. He's strong. He's gonna do just great. Number 9, I have Aaron Jones. Again, we already talked about Aaron Jones early in the podcast. He's great. He's gonna do great. He has 2-time MVP on back-to-back on his as quarterback. Can't go wrong with him. A very, very, very good receiving back as well, and that's where a lot of his points are gonna come from. And then number 10, you guys might think I'm crazy, maybe not so, because Chris put Saquon, but I got Ezekiel Elliott at number 10. I have faith in him. I think he's gonna come back. I think he's gonna do very, very well. We already talked about all the reasons why he's gonna be good, so I'm not gonna go too into detail, but I just think he's going to have a very good bounce back year, especially that he's had a whole offseason to get healthy, to work on that knee. and I think he's just I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's gonna
All
be good.
right.
He will be one. He will be my pick if I'm going back to back at number 10. I will go probably like because DeAndre Swift, maybe Joe Mixon, then Ezekiel Elliott. That's just my opinion.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Now,
I
now
like
I want
it.
to ask, y'all call me crazy. Consensus, if you take out Kamara, consensus has
right.
Barkley as number 10 RB as well.
hmm
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people are very high on Barkley.
No, no,
if
no,
Anywhere you
no,
listen,
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
of people.
I'm not calling you crazy. I'm saying that the people who had him are not getting him a third time. Or they broke off that relationship. Like it's gone. Like the people who've gone through that are not.
It's that
You can
the
talk.
trust is broken
Yeah,
with him. That's what
you
it
could
is.
talk the highest about him. He can look as fresh as a rose. I'm not taking him. People who've been through that is not taking him. People who've been through the Christian McCaffrey train the last 2 years are not taking him a third time. No matter how you lose that trust. It's like I'm going with the safer pick and that's it. I'm not
hmm
calling you crazy because it could happen, but
hmm
I'm not risking it.
it's also where you drafting him in the draft because draft ADP has him at pick number 22. So
Yep,
there is a chance
yep.
in 10 team PPR that I can try and maybe if somebody doesn't reach for him, grab him at round 3.
Oh,
Now if
round
I
three is
get
a steal. This is a steal.
Nah, like if I get, like I said, if I get that Jonathan Taylor pick in the first round somehow,
Yeah.
or a safer, or or great wide receiver and another great wide receiver or another good running back in the second round. I'm that high on Saquon, I'm gonna go and pick him in the third round because I think
All
he has
right.
hmm
value.
Yeah. I hear.
No, no. So
Trust me, I hear it.
Saquon
You guys
goes.
are making the right
Yeah,
argument. You guys are making the
Saquon
right
goes
argument.
goes very high
For
in the third
those
round.
who haven't draft Barkley, they're probably gonna go for Barkley, which is
hmm
is a, probably a good move. But like I said, it's just not me. So before we end everything, we set our top 10. I'm gonna give you 3 names, and you're gonna tell me which one of those 3 names has the potential to be the top 10 this season. So I'm gonna give you James Conner, Cam Akers, or Brees Hall. A lot of people are high on these 3 people. So I need you to think for a second and tell me which one could potentially be a top 10 whose ADPs are at 30 or 30 and lower. So round 3, middle 3, early 4th. Chris, I already know who you're gonna say. Who is your potential top 10 running back out of those 3 names?
So it's hard. You can't say there's two mindsets. I'm gonna go off the mindset because you think I'm gonna say Brees Hall. I would say Brees Hall. I would say Brees Hall first. But if we thinking and saying okay, Cam Akers is gonna be healthy all season. Brees Hall is gonna be healthy all season. And this is just before the season on the third one. I literally forgot the third.
And the ADP is the
No, who's
middle
the
of the
third running
third.
back you said?
Oh, James Conner.
Okay, James Conner. So James Conner had health issues before last year, but he was healthy all year. But let's just say all 3 of them are healthy all year. I would go Cam Akers, Brees Hall, and James Conner. But with my concerns on Cam Akers, I pick Brees Hall over Cam Akers. That's the only reason because I have concerns. But if they are healthy, that he does have the potential. Right?
Yeah.
Cam Akers.
Yeah, I go.
Christian.
Me. Since the beginning, I've been high on James Conner, so I go James Conner first. Just because he's
Oh.
very touchdown dependent, and he's gonna get those touchdowns, especially at the goal line, and he's gonna give you those points just for touchdowns alone. He's had
And
multiple
Chase
2
Edmonds is
touchdown, 3
gone.
touchdown games. Yep.
Chase
So
Edmonds
he
is
has
gone.
Evans is
again.
gone.
He has no competition. Running back, and then I go Brees Hall, then Cam Akers. Reason why I have Cam Akers last is just because he did miss the whole last season, and there's a lot of attention out in LA. You got Cooper Cup, you have Allen Robinson, OBJ might come back. There's just you got there's just a lot of attention when it comes to LA. So I don't see Cam Akers having a great season.
Okay.
But yeah, so and then I go Brees Hall second. I think he's going to be very good. We talk about how he was one of the best rookie running backs in the draft. And they the Jets are going to be very, very, very heavy on him. They're going to lean on him a lot.
Yeah,
as well.
listen, I don't think there really is a wrong answer with those 3 guys of potential being a top 10. What I would say though, Christian, to the Cam Akers argument, just to defend him. I don't know why I feel like I have to defend him, but when he came back from that early injury and came and played in the playoffs, Henderson was unknown the moment he came back in the
Mhm.
playoff, fresh off of Achilles injury. They didn't care about that. Cam Akers didn't even look good running the ball, but he recovered so fast. Henderson was forgotten. It was Cam Akers' team again, and that's my one rebuttal would be that Cam Akers is gonna get all of it. He's gonna get all of it. So
Right.
I think I'm being biased. I don't care. Brees Hall is gonna be a top 10 running back at the end of the season. The Jets have a bulked up offensive line, which another news, Mekhi Beckham got moved over to the right tackle. So now we have a 5 stack, which
That's a big boy.
of beefy boys,
That's a
big
boy.
old boys. So I'm down with Brees Hall. But if I'm not being biased, I'm gonna go the Cam Akers route, then Brees Hall. But James Conner is we're not I'm not talking bad on James Conner. I like James Conner. Christian said it. The guy is on lead the team, and he's the lead back. So I like him, but I like the upside on Cam Akers and Brees Hall a little bit more. That's why I will only take him. And that is our top 10 rankings, everybody. So before we talk about anything, because I forgot to mention this, and I know we didn't go through all the fantasy news. You guys know that Kyle Shanahan said he wants to go with a committee running back. He wants to go with a committee. So does that change your thought on Elijah Mitchell or no?
No. And that's because my thought was very low on him in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, I know your thought was low. I know you was a little higher on him, Christian, in the beginning when we started
Yeah,
doing the podcast.
it did change a little bit.
It's gonna change. Yeah.
And you probably even seen him when we've done a million mock drafts together. But you've seen he's always there, and I always skip right past him.
Yeah, I'm starting to like not take him as ADP, which is 55, which is the middle of the 5th. If I see him drop at the late 6 or early 7, I'm gonna probably take him because that's an upgrade. But if they're sharing the ball, a running back by committee, Trey Lance is a mobile quarterback. We said this earlier.
Yeah, that's why.
How much is he just gonna be touchdown dependent? It sounds like that. Now it looks like when you draft Elijah Mitchell, you might just have to rely on the touchdowns, and that's a lot of people.
Yeah, like I said earlier,
I feel like in the 5-yard and goal line, I think Trey Lance, they might just run the ball with Trey Lance.
Yeah,
more better than Mitchell.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go by committee. I would not be surprised if Trey Lance leads the team and rushing like.
And you said it earlier in the podcast, Jay, that that Shanahan likes to use the second year backs, and Trey Sermon was kind of quiet last year, so he might be the one to emerge and take over Elijah Mitchell's spot.
I would say I forgot his name, but they did draft another running back this past season, and I would say he has a better chance. I think Trey Sermon has probably one more opportunity to prove to Kyle Shanahan. He's quick. Yeah. He's quick to change a running back. So Trey Sermon didn't prove nothing last season. He lost to a 6th-round pick running back when he was a 3rd-round pick. So I think Kyle Shanahan is going to go. Training camp is going to be big for Kyle Shanahan. If Trey Sermon doesn't look the part, they might just move on.
But that's another big thing. It's Shanahan. Because you never know. You never know if week 6, he don't like you no more. Mitchell's gone and this guy's in now. That's another thing with
Mitchell. Mitchell is a big risk.
And quick question with I know Debo said that he wants to just be a wide receiver, but do you think there's any way that Shanahan just says I don't care and they just start utilizing him in the run again? Maybe not as much. I
don't think he's gonna do it unless there's a contract. So if they sign a deal and he's with them for long term, he's probably gonna go back to the old Debo, which I will rank Debo a little higher than what he is, if that's true. Yeah. But if he doesn't sign and they can't get into an agreement, then he's gonna stay. I think he's gonna stand ground and just play
because then Debo's gonna want to be like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, because why would Debo be the entire team and not have the money for it? Because if he gets hurt out for the season, he loses out value. So I think if they get a contract, it's a possibility he gets a little bit more involved. But we all accept this already. Trey Lance is going to take a lot of the running. They might not need Debo to run because Trey Lance might just be that guy. I think Trey Lance is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he might just be that guy. So is there any other running backs that you guys want to ask a question about? Anyone that's a little weird that you want to discuss about before we end this? We got a couple minutes before we end this. While you guys are looking, the only person that's really bothering me on this list is Antonio Gibson. I would scream to everybody, I don't like him. I would scream to everybody and say, don't draft him. I don't like Antonio Gibson. He fumbled 6 times, I believe, or 8 times last season. Yeah, and then they went and drafted a running back that never fumbled the ball in college. So
Mhm.
I would not trust Antonio Gibson. And you have J.D. McKissick, who re-signed with them,
Yeah, they
who's
also
gonna
signed
be
too.
the
Yep.
the catching running back. So I don't like Gibson.
Yeah, another
If
couple
they,
running backs I would say is Damian Harris.
yeah,
Stay away
Ramondre
from him.
Stevenson
Um,
started
s-
taking first team reps
I
in
would
training camp.
I always avoid Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't like him at all.
Oh,
I
that,
didn't.
that's something weird because I don't know if I don't like him. It's I feel like
I
he
don't.
might be interesting. I don't know. I
You think he gets used a lot more now with just
With Tyreek Hill gone,
Kelsey?
there's some
yeah.
vacated
So
targets
But
that's my that's my
he does have
thing.
a lot of fumbling issues too. He fumbled the ball a lot and
I
in big games.
Yeah, it's weird because he might be a high risk or a bust. It's just
Yeah.
like like
He's also
Chris.
one of those guys that I pass over because he's right there with Elijah. Is you like Elijah Mitchell,
Yeah,
Alaire,
yeah.
Miles Sanders? They're like around
Well,
that area.
you know why? Because you just said it. Elijah Mitchell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Damian Harris, and then AJ Dillon. I'm taking AJ Dillon over all three of those guys. So
Yeah.
that's the big reason. But if AJ Dillon is not there and I need a running back, I'm picking Clyde. I don't know
I'll
why.
go Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, yeah. That I would go Clyde. I don't know why. I think with Tyreek not there, like Chris said, there's a lot of things to open. So you never know. Maybe it just comes out of nowhere. He might be just a surprise.
I'll say these names. I guess since it's for the just put names. Nick Chubb. He's ADP 15.9.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring
I-
him. Why
Um,
are we?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. So Nick Chubb, the big thing is Kareem Hunt. That's the big name.
Exactly.
So now I have a thing for you guys. I have been listening. Kareem Hunt could get traded to a team that needs a running back. So let's imagine Kareem Hunt is gone. Does Nick Chubb become someone you're going after heavy? You want him badly?
Yeah,
I
Kareem
don't
Hunt
know.
is the reason that I don't like Nick Chubb.
I don't know because they don't really use him in the passing game either. He's not really. I don't know, and then you don't know who's gonna be quarterback either. You don't know what's going on. I think they said Jacoby Brissett, right?
That's
Jacoby
another
Brissett will take
reason
a
they're
shot.
gonna be a running team. They don't know.
Yeah.
But he's a
Yeah,
quarterback.
so he definitely is gonna carry a load. I mean, but I don't know.
Have
Yeah,
another
but
name
so
on him.
let's just say real quick, Kareem Hunt gets traded. Who has no running back right now? Come on, pop up your head, start working.
Off the top of my head, jeez.
I'm trying to think of a team that's struggling with running backs. You have, oh, excuse me. Oh my God, the Falcons don't really have a running back. If he goes there, I think he takes over. They have the rookie.
I can't even think of the top.
I'm trying to think of a team because I right now I'm listening that he could get traded. That Browns don't want him because
Houston?
there we go. That's a team that I would take Hunt. I will draft Hunt and love him there. Because they also have, to be honest, they have Johnson as the third running back who kind of showed up a little bit when they both got hurt. Deanna
Yeah.
Johnson.
It was
So-
Ernest Johnson, something like that. Yeah,
Ernest Johnson. So they're saying that they're either gonna trade Hunt or Johnson. You go with the younger guy. You trade Hunt. He could be relevant. He can get traded to the Ravens and be the number one running back.
Look how great he was when he was with KC, and then they traded him, and yeah, he splits the ball with this guy. He doesn't lose a step. He's still averaging 20.
They let him go because the only way is he didn't lose a step because he was kicking his girlfriend. So yeah, so they
took a
let
step
him
on
go.
her.
Yeah.
What if he goes to Washington?
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. I like
Does that make Washington a contender?
that.
No, I just
Not
like
at all.
him.
That was
No, bro.
you
And
know,
the
No, Daniel Jones is the best quarterback. Giants are
Of
making it
course.
all the way, bro.
it's
Come on,
gonna
bro.
be it's gonna be
Josh
Daniel
Jacobs.
Jones, man. As
What do you think about Josh Jacobs?
I like Josh Jacobs.
I like him, but
I
not
like
a lot of
him.
people. But not a lot of people are high on him.
I like him. Yeah, I like him.
I
I like him. And I think he's at a perfect spot too. With his ADP.
I
what's his
think.
ADP?
I think. Right now his ADP is
He's at a-
47.7.
Yeah, he's at
So-
that's a perfect spot for him too. I like it there.
I like
I
him
like him.
because he's in a good team where they'll be in the goal line and he's just eat up the goal line. He
Yeah.
might not have to do much. I like him. I think he'll be interesting. He's on the last year of his contract. They didn't extend his rookie deal, so that means that Josh McDaniels might be done with him as a new coach. So if you're done with him, what you gonna do? You're gonna
You the hell
exactly.
I get it.
So I think Josh Jacobs is a little sneaky one as well. But we talked about all the running backs. We got
Wait,
the
I
running
had one last name and with this.
say it, and I'm gonna say no.
David Montgomery.
Who?
I don't like him.
David Montgomery. I don't
I
like
don't
him
like
either.
I'm
The only
50
reason
50 on him.
the only reason people like him is volume. That's the only reason we know he's gonna be the running back that gets everything.
No, but he got the volume, but he wasn't really producing. Herbert,
Exactly. That's why I don't like him.
his backup Herbert, I believe that's his name. He was eating up those carries. He became a monster. So now it might not be 100% his backfield. It might be a 70-30. It could be possibly 60-40. We got to see what happens. I don't like David Montgomery. I will much rather take Brees Hall. Travis Etienne. I probably would take Travis Etienne. I don't know about that guy. Last guy to talk about. He's gonna get a lot of. He's an electrifying running back, catch running back. So I think Travis Etienne could get some blow up games, and we'll see about James Roberts to see what happens. So that is P. Why did I say P? That is your PPR running backs rankings from Christopher, Christian,
running back
and Jacob. That was our rankings. We will be back and we're gonna talk about our wide receiver top 10, and we're gonna mix in tight end top 10 because tight ends this year is a little bit more longer than we think. I think last season there was like 3 tight ends: Mark Andrews, George Kittle, and Kelsey, and then Darren Waller. After that, it was nobody. Now you got some people, so we're gonna rank both those guys in the same podcast. We're gonna fit them all in, and then we'll be back. So as for Christian, Christopher, myself, and you, goodbye, and we'll see you guys next time. Deuces.
Peace.